I unlock the door to my office 4 hours later, stumble into the bedroom, and hit the bed face first. After a long nap, I lift my mashed face from the mattress and push my aching body up from the bed. Like it or not, there's still a lot of work to do. My first priority is to break the code on Malloy's disk. I have the feeling the contents will give me a few answers.
Hey, Murph, I'm calling from Bermuda. It's me, Archie. I just wanted to call and say thanks for the tip you left me. You were right. Someone broke into the shop and wrecked everything. But who cares? I'm in Bermuda. I rented a boat today, and I'm going to the Bermuda Triangle. I gotta go. Thanks again, Murph.
Had to have been Clinton. Now, she was an alien. Well, I'm glad Archie's safe and sound. If only the rest of us were so lucky.
Murphy, I've got the printout of your anagrams. Give me a call.
You're not avoiding me, are you? I certainly hope you're behaving yourself while I'm gone. Well, if you've been a good boy, I'm going to give you a nice treat when I get back tomorrow night. Now remember to polish your teeth. Bye.
Got my message?
Yeah, and your file. I don't think you know how much you were asking from me.
Sure I do. I just got a lot of faith in you. So you ready to trade?
Can you fax the printout of the anagrams over here to my office?
No problem. But I prefer that you not fax the file here. I'd rather have the real thing. If you can hang around your office for a bit, I'll send the express courier over and pick it up.
All right, but make it snappy. I don't want to hold on to this any longer than I have to.
You have a fax. You have a fax.
Luckily, Purnell only included the anagram combinations that were made up completely of actual words. After looking through the list, only one anagram jumps out at me. Merge the 4 rare cases to see maps. Maybe there's a password somewhere in there. Looks as though this Elijah Witt has one of Malloy's boxes, and he doesn't sound like the kind of guy who'll just hand it over to a stranger. Regardless, I have to start by finding out where Witt lives, and all I've got to go on is his phone number. That's pretty small. But I guess video phone call tracers don't need to be very big.
See anything you like?
Well, I hope my new purchase will help me out.
Can I help you with something?
Dad?
Who the hell are you?
I'm your long-lost son. Gosh, it's so good to finally meet you.
This some kind of a sick joke? I don't have a son.
Well, let me see if I can refresh your memory, Dad. Little bar in Omaha, Fifth of Wild Turkey, karaoke machine.
Who is your mother?
I actually never knew my mother. I was abandoned in an orphanage with only a small blanket and your name written on a cocktail napkin. I've dedicated my life to finding you.
You expect me to believe that cock and bull story? Who are you?
Okay. My name's Murphy. I'm calling as a mutual friend of Thomas Malloy.
If that's the case, then why all this crap about being my son?
I had to make sure you weren't an imposter. Malloy told me that you had no sons and always used the phrase cock and bull.
What do you know about Malloy? And make it good. You're wasting my time.
Well, he was killed before he could get a certain computer disk to you. I broke the code on it. It was merge the 4 rare cases to see maps, an anagram of the title, There Are Messages from Outer Space. That's how I got this number.
How did you end up with a disc meant for me?
That's not important. What is important is the message Malloy wanted to give you. Meet me at the Imperial Lounge in New San Francisco in 2 hours. If Whit takes the bait, and I'm betting he will, it should give me enough time to look around his place. The address displayed on the call tracer is in Vancouver, BC. On the flight up, I probably passed Whit, who's headed to the Imperial Lounge. I tracked down Whit's address to a high-rise residential building. I get inside and pick the lock to the apartment. Immediately, an alarm goes off. Sounds like I got that alarm turned off. It's like a number chart of some sort. And a tower bookcase. The design is interesting, but nothing else about it is. Bookcase doesn't appear to have anything of interest in it. Looks like Whit made some notes about opening the box Malloy sent to him. According to this, he seemed to think that he'd have to figure out a Mayan date, then what that date would be on a modern calendar. The statue in this photo looks remarkably like the one over by the fireplace. That wall hanging has some interesting symbols on it, but I can't make out what they are from here.
Yeah! That is hot!
Looks like Mr. Stone here has a keyhole for a belly button. Well, hello. Time for you to come to Papa. There are 4 dials on this box which can be moved. Looks like I need to set a modern date on the left, then a Mayan date on the right. There are 4 dials on this box which can be moved. Looks like I need to set a modern date on the left, then a Mayan date on the right. Looks like a package arrived from Malloy. I don't think anybody's gonna mind if I take a look. If Louis was right, this book should help me figure out what the letter says. I'm pretty sure I got all the pieces assembled, but it still doesn't work. Maybe Fitzpatrick can help me get this thing to run. With Malloy's device assembled, but still not working, I return to my office and call Regan and Fitzpatrick. Regan arrives first, then Fitzpatrick, who's brought along an unexpected guest, Elijah Witt. I don't bother asking how that happened, but Witt is clearly on Fitzpatrick's side and suspicious of Regan. He's not my biggest fan either, all things considered. But Fitzpatrick negotiates a truce, then not surprisingly pulls out the final piece of the puzzle. He hands it to me, and I slide it in an open slot on the side of the Pandora device.
Everyone is here, I presume. All of you are here for a very important reason. You are now a council assembled in order to make a very important decision. What I'm about to reveal may be the greatest discovery in the history of our planet, yet may also be the most devastating. As you know, I have spent most of my life trying to decipher the alien symbols discovered in the Roswell spacecraft. Well, I have lived to fulfill my ambition. The translation of the alien hieroglyphics clearly states that another spacecraft preceded the arrival of the one in Roswell. And now I know where it is. The translation also indicates that the second spacecraft is much larger than the Roswell ship, possibly a colonizing vessel. As most of you know, the Roswell ship carried a lot of equipment, including particle accelerators. What you probably don't know is that it also carried tiny pods of antihydrogen. I believe it's possible, even likely, that there are large quantities of antihydrogen on this second ship. Here on Earth, experiments creating and storing antihydrogen have met with little or no success. Now, if society is ready for such a discovery, I think it would be the most wonderful ever. It might allow us to finally break the barriers of space travel so that we could explore distant galaxies and contact other civilizations. But if this technology gets into the hands of the wrong people, it would undoubtedly result in the complete and utter destruction of our world. The decision is now in your capable hands. Good luck, my friends. Pandora's box has been opened. It's now up to you to close it.
Look! Look there. It's down there. Anti-hydrogen. That must be what the black sun symbol represents. Devastating discovery.
Well, I think we're all in agreement with this. It has to be destroyed.
Not so fast. Maybe my father's experiences in the military biased him. And think of the possibilities and the money this thing could be worth.
Money's no factor here. We're talking about a force 1,000, maybe 1,000,000 times greater than the atomic bomb. It's like handing a child a laser cannon.
Whatever the ramifications, the point is, we must find the spacecraft.
When are we leaving? I need to go back to my room and get some stuff.
Hold on. We're not going anywhere. I'm going down after it.
Really? And when was that decided?
Well, almost 40 years ago. 'Cause you see, on an operation like this, I'm a solo kind of guy.
I don't know what kind of a woman you think I am, but if you think I'm going to be sitting around the room like a delicate flower, you got another thought coming.
Whitnire agreed that all of us must go down there, each of us taking a separate route. I strongly suspect that other parties will be getting involved. I want to maximize the odds that we get there first. Take this communicator with you. We'll try to rendezvous at the spacecraft. If there are any problems, that'll keep us in touch.
Well, okay. Gentlemen, if there's nothing else, I guess I'll see you down there in a couple of days.
Hold on, Murphy. You take this card. This guy will get you down there safely. I'm going to tell him you're coming tomorrow. And don't take the woman. We got no margin for error, and we need no excuses.
So what you're saying is, you don't want me to take the woman?
No distractions.
All right. Fitzpatrick and Witt had taken a taxi to my office, so I offered to give him a lift back to the Savoy. Fitzpatrick seems lost in thought, and I have a hunch he knows something he hasn't told us. On the way back to my office, I try to imagine what we're about to find. But the whole thing is so incomprehensible, it only makes my head hurt to think about it. Well, I suppose you've already sat in my chair and have eaten my porridge, too.
Took you long enough. I thought I was gonna have to stir it in by myself. I hope you don't mind I made myself comfortable. And I'm very comfortable.
Yeah, you look it.
How long does it take you to smoke that cigarette?
Oh, you'd be surprised. You know, I've never been very good at figuring out women. Could you explain to me what's going on here?
Don't tell me you've never done this before.
Well, just once. By myself.
Come over here, little boy. If we're gonna be in this thing together, I want to make sure you're in all the way. Promise me, Tex?
I can't do this, Rick. There's somebody else. It wouldn't be fair to her or to you.
What's wrong with you? What's wrong with me? I can give you everything. I can love you better than you've ever been loved before.
Look, I don't want to argue about this. The way you look makes it tough as it is.
There's a fortune just waiting for us.
I'm going down there by myself, and that's all there is to it.
You blew it. Could have had everything. Now you have nothing.